Hi, I'm Jamie Bell, and I will be talking about trustworthiness and character. And I think trustworthiness leads back to trustworthy, which leads back to trust, and what ultimately is trust. And it's being dependable and honest. You want people to be able to count on you and to know that they can count on you. And trustworthiness has to do with keeping your word and following it with your action. Are your yeses yeses and are your noes noes? And can they count and rely on you in that? Trustworthiness has to do with honesty. Can you be relied on as an honest person? Are you reliable? Are you loyal? Upstanding? Integrity? Of good character? And like I said, it's someone who keeps their word and means what they say and says what they mean, and they follow it with their action. Some of the quotes that I found that I thought were powerful. One from Teaching Character Through Sport with Bruce Brown was, "No more essential ingredient for building a great level of respect exists than trust. Trust for most people requires a substantial period of time to develop." It would be nice if trust could happen overnight, but it does take time, it takes effort, and it takes a little bit of risk. And then George MacDonald said, "To be trusted is a greater compliment than being loved." Having someone confide and trust in you really is a good feeling. And I think it's short to come by. Not a lot of people trust in other people. Some examples of trustworthiness could be parents entrusting someone with their kids, whether you're taking them off to camp, whether you're coaching them, you're mentoring them, whatever it may be. Parents ultimately have to trust that person that's taking care of their kids. Having someone that can keep your secrets, someone that you trust with money. Another example could be standing up for and acting on what you believe. Trust has to do with consistency over time. Are you consistent with your words and your actions time and time again? And, trust, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a building process. Practicing trustworthiness, if you have a teacher that miscalculated your test score, giving you a higher grade than you deserve, what do? Can you be trusted with that? Can you go back and tell her, hey, I didn't get all these points? And then another one that has happened to me as an assistant coach is one of our best players broke a team rule. We happened to be playing against the strongest opponent. Does the head coach keep his word and bench them? And unfortunately, in this situation, he did not. I disagreed with him. I didn't think that was the right decision, but I was not the head coach at the time, so it was not my call. But I think little moments like that go a long way with kids, and I think it's important to keep your word. I think ultimately this stems from God's word and his example of how we should live, and I think words that ring true that have to do with trustworthiness are accountability, honesty, faithful, loyal, reliable, genuine, good, steady, solid, credible, responsible, and dependable. Some of the verses I snatched out were Proverbs 11:13, which says, "A gossip goes around telling secrets, but those who are trustworthy can keep a confidence." Can you be trusted with secrets? And with trust comes confidence. If someone can trust you, they usually will have confidence in you, especially as a coach. If your players can trust you, they'll pretty much do anything for you. Another verse is Psalm 145:13. "The Lord always keeps his promises. He is gracious in all he does." And I just think God should be our standard in life when it comes to trust. He keeps his word as we should keep ours. And then the last one was Luke 16:10. If you are faithful in little things, you will be faithful in large ones. But if you are dishonest in little things, you won't be honest with greater responsibilities. Trust has the ability to grow and flourish. And if someone can trust you with little, they're likely to trust you with more and more. A couple sayings that I really liked. Trust takes years to build, seconds to break, and forever to repair. And that one's hard for me, but I think it's so true just because it takes time. And it really can be broken in a few seconds. And it does take a long time to repair. And trust is it's so important, especially in relationships. And that's what coaching is. It's building relationships. And there has to be a trust factor involved. Henry Stimson said the only way to make a man trustworthy is to trust him. You have to offer trust in order to gain trust. And then Abraham Lincoln said the people, when rightly and fully trusted, will return the trust. I think if someone trusts you, you in turn will trust them. And I think it's kind of a two-way street there. And then famous author Stephen Covey, who wrote the book Seven. It's the Seven. I know the name of this book. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Speaks a lot about trustworthiness and trust. And he talked about the ability to establish, grow, extend, and restore trust is the key professional and personal competency of our time. Trust is the highest form of human motivation. It brings out the very best in people. And trust is the glue of life. It's the most essential ingredient in effective communication. And it's the foundational principle that holds all relationships. And that, to me, is like key there. Relationship building and trust being the key factor in that. Trustworthiness in coaching, it has to be earned. Your players have to have a reason to trust in you. Can they take you at your word? Do they think you have what's best in mind for them and the team? And it's one step at a time. It's one deed at a time. It's one action at a time. And it's the fundamental quality of a successful coaching relationship. Can your players trust you? Do they feel like you trust them? That's key. And so that's what I think trustworthiness is. I think it's power to bring out the energy, talents, and gifts of individuals to build teams and to achieve amazing results. And I just think we as coaches have the platform to lead the way in being by the example in trust. I think it's so important that our players can look up to us as being trustworthy people and know that we keep our word and that we live by it. And we show example, especially in, the Christian community. We're called to be trustworthy people. Jesus is the example, and he is who we should model by. Thank you.